With IMT Lazarus, we're going to be able to change the YouTube filters. This means that we will be able to modify the video access our students have, as well as the visual when they access youtube.com. When working with IMT Lazarus, we're going to have these icons that give us more information about the configuration and current filters applied to our students' devices. One of these icons, this one that appears here in green, is the one for YouTube. And in this case, since it's green, we can see that it's working within the school filter that has been predetermined for these devices. But as the teacher, I'm going to be able to change this. To change our YouTube filter, we would come here to the left-hand side under Setup, Filters, and YouTube. From here, we can see that we can create a new filter up here at the top with the Create New button. Now, the first step is to name our filter. To save our changes, we click the green button. And now we're going to see the different options that we have within our YouTube filter. The first option we see here is General Restrictions. The first thing we can do is block adult content, anything that is over 18 years old. And next, we can see that we're going to be able to edit the YouTube web elements. These elements refer to the elements that appear around the YouTube video when reproducing the video. What does this mean? This means that we can actually block these elements that surround the YouTube video, whether it be the recommended playlists, the comments, the YouTube shorts, the notifications, etc. We can block them all, even including the chat. Once we've chosen what we want to block or not and configured our preferences, we will come here to the green check button to save our changes. Aside from the general restrictions, we're also going to be able to filter through categories. In this case, we can select the categories that we wish to block, manually, one by one, deciding which we allow or block. Or if we want an all-encompassing and restrictive approach, we can just block them all by clicking on this button. Once we've chosen our preferences, let's not forget to click the green button so we can save all of our changes. We will also be able to filter through specific words or phrases when it comes to allowing or blocking content. This is important because usually content creators are very specific and detailed about the words that they include within their videos, so we can actually use these words to filter them out. This is a perfect case where we can personalize the use. So for example, if within our categories we choose to block music, we can do this as a whole, but then let's say that in our specific words and phrases, I want to include, for example, Mozart, or a famous musician that I want my students to have access to their videos. I can do this while still keeping my students safe, away from the music category, but allowing specific things like Mozart. For this, I would just add the word Mozart into my allowed list and click the plus button to save it. So now any videos that include the word Mozart in their title or the video in general will be allowed. Or on the other hand, I can also block specific words. For example, let's say Bitcoin. I can include it here. I type out the word, click the plus sign, and we can see that now it is under my blocked list. Any video that mentions or contains the word Bitcoin will automatically be blocked for my students. Additionally, we also have the option of working within specific channels or YouTube videos when it comes to YouTube. Again, we can decide whether we want to allow them or block them. For example, there's a channel that I know I want my students to be able to access. In this case, I would include the name of the channel under my allowed list. For example, let's say this channel is Crash Course. I would include the URL, click the plus button, and we can see that it is now under my allowed list. On the other hand as well, if there is, for example, a gaming channel that I know I don't want my students to use, I can add that into my block list. I can type again the URL, click the plus button, and now we can see that it is under my block list for YouTube channels. Now, if we want to filter through specific YouTube videos, what we would need to do is we come here under YouTube videos, and we would have to copy the last sequence of the YouTube URL. For example, here I have a URL link of a YouTube video that I want to allow. Instead of including the whole URL, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of part of it and leave only the last sequence of letters and numbers. Now when I click the plus button, we're going to see that it's going to be saved and the URL automatically applies. And the same would go if I want to block a specific video. We also have the option of uploading a CSV, whether it's of YouTube channels or videos, so that if we have a long list, we don't have to upload it one by one, but we can just save it as a CSV and upload the file. Now that we have created our YouTube filter, we will come back here to our control panel. Now from here, we can choose the student or students' devices that we want to apply our filter to. Once we've selected them, now we will come here to the YouTube filter button. In this case, now I will choose the amount of time that I want to apply my filter for. For now, let's say it'll be 45 minutes. And from here, I'm going to choose the YouTube filter that I just created. Now we click on the filter. And now we can see that the YouTube icon has changed colors to orange. This means that the student is now navigating within My Teacher YouTube filter. We can also see that we have the countdown timer, which lets me know how long until the filter wears off. We can do this at the individual level like I just did, or if we come here to this button, we can select the entire class and apply our YouTube filter to them as well. Aside from this filter, we also have the opportunity to use the filters that have been created by our school or institution for us to use as teachers. We can see here at the left that there is a little school icon, and that's how we know that it was created by our institution for us to use as teachers. We can see that we also have access to the YouTube lock filter, as well as the default filter. In this case, the YouTube default filter is the one that has been created by the school for our devices when they access YouTube. But we can also choose to block access to YouTube completely by using the YouTube lock filter here in red. In this case, when the student's YouTube icon is red, it means that they are not allowed to use YouTube whatsoever. Now, in case that we want to apply this filter, as per usual, we come back here, we choose a device, and we come to YouTube filters, choose the amount of time that we want to apply the filter for, and click on the YouTube lock filter. In this case, we can see that the YouTube icon has already changed to red. Now, if our student tries to access YouTube, what they will get is an error code. Now, if we come to our student's Chromebook, I can try to access YouTube. We can see that we're going to get the message that our YouTube access has been blocked. Now, if I want to go back to the default setting, I would come back to my control panel, select my student's device, go to the YouTube filter, and apply the default filter. Now we can see that the YouTube icon has changed to green, and this means that our student will now be navigating the normal YouTube filter decided by the school. So if we go back to our student's Chromebook, we can see that when they try to access YouTube now, they will be allowed to do so. They will be able to access whatever we have allowed as an institution for them to access when using YouTube. And that is how we modify and change the YouTube filters within IMT Lazarus.